If you or somebody you know wants to be a guest in the Somebody Show, email us. Email the Somebody Show at the. Anyway, it's on the screen, and just remember, we're all somebody.
It's the Somebody Show. That was my news version. Like if I was on like a newscaster. It's the Somebody Show. Is that better?
All right. Killed it.
Did I kill it?
So let's just stop the show right now.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. All right. That's the shortest one we ever did. Wow. No, I think we should do more. Let's do more. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do more. So, what's the opening segment we were gonna do? I always forget. You're in charge of this stuff.
9% of the time it's you talking about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Good. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this. Really? I get to be on camera more. I failed in Hollywood, and now I get to. I didn't fail, but I'm not there anymore.
Is it a fail? I mean, you were in.
I walked away.
Yeah.
It's like, Dave Chappelle. Do you know who that is?
I heard of it.
You've heard of Dave Chappelle? He kind of walked away, got all that money, and then he was like, done.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, Dave, don't
Worked out a little bit better for him.
Just a little bit, Sean. Thanks for rubbing it in. No, I walked away. I didn't fail. I walked away.
Right. But technically you were in. I mean, there's plenty of people that go out there and are in nothing, right?
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I was going to tell that story about auditioning for what I'm most famous for, Bart Fart from How High. I don't know. Did you know that? So when I was auditioning for that, there's the audition process. You go in, you initially read for a casting director, and they sit there like this, and you're me, and I'm the casting director. Like, I am Method Man, and then I would read my part, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing all my stuff, and they're like, yeah. And it's very hard to audition with casting directors.
Right.
Casting directors are all horrible. Even if you're watching this, I don't care. You're all horrible. You were okay, but and then you go maybe after that if they like you. They'll bring you back, and then you read with a producer and the casting director.
So in that sense, like, obviously, you weren't competing with 100 people for this movie, right? Like, was this was your agent like excited? Like, this is going to be the one? I mean, were you on the way up, or you were relatively unknown?
I'd done a few little things here and there, but like I would say my guess is there was at least 100 people.
You said a young Ryan Reynolds. You beat a young Ryan Reynolds out.
Definitely. Ryan Reynolds, Jim Carrey, and James Van Der Beek, and they were Arnold Schwarzenegger. They all read for this part.
Read for the part.
I beat them all. Yeah. So I would guess, I don't know, maybe 100 people.
Okay.
When they're casting for kids, like, we're in a garage. We're taping a garage, by the way. That was the garage light. When they're casting kids, like, they'll do a nationwide search because kids are just kind of harder to find. Like, they're also annoying.
Yes.
But so there's maybe like 1,000 kids.
Okay.
So it depends on what they're doing. But I would guess probably 100 people audition for Bart Fart. Yeah. So anyway, so we moved past me just reading with the casting director. Now we're on to the producer and the casting director. And if you go past that, a lot of times it may just go straight to what they call a studio session, where you go in to read with, casting director, a few producers, maybe the actors you're going to be, acting with in the movie. Anyway, so let's fast forward to that. Okay. Now I've gotten that.
How many times have you read?
I think I read 3 times. So this is the 3rd time I've gone in. And Method Man and Redman are there.
Are they producing the movie? Are they a part of that?
I don't know if they were producers on the movie. I should know that, shouldn't I? I don't know. Why don't you tell us in the comments? Yeah, I'll call him. You weren't using my camera or my phone as a camera. I may call him. I don't have his phone number. So they're there, and I can't tell you how nervous. I was so nervous. And I knew of Wu-Tang, but I didn't know exactly who Method Man and Redman were. Like, I just knew of Wu-Tang.
Right.
And so they're there in the room, and the producers are like, why don't you just read with Method Man and Redman? So they come up and they stand next to me, and I felt like, the knees knocking, like that whole thing of like, you're so nervous your knees are knocking. That's how nervous I felt.
That's how I get before every episode.
You throw up too before every episode.
That's just so I look skinny.
Okay. So my knees, like, I'm like above the waist, I'm like very like, my character, but below, like my knees are like, so I'm reading the lines with them, and I said this line I said in the movie, which is something like, this isn't basketball, J-Rock. And Redman, they both started laughing. Redman fell on the ground laughing. At that point, I was like, I think I'm going to get this part. Like, they were laughing so hard. Now, they were probably laughing at me, not necessarily laughing at what I was saying, but...
At least they're laughing.
Yeah. So that was me, how I got that.
I mean, the irony is that Method Man has gone on to become like a pretty well-established actor. And I think that was
the launching pad for him to get, what was the, Oz? Was he on Oz?
He was on The Wire.
The Wire. He was on The Wire, but wasn't he one of the inmates in Oz?
I don't know. I'd never watched Oz, but he's on The
Cole,
Wire.
do you know?
And I think he...
Josh, do you know? Was Method Man on Oz? No? Sometimes we talk to the guests even before you come on. So we got a guest here. I don't know if you knew that or not. It's a Somebody show. We have a Somebody. So anyway, that was that.
Yeah.
I got another story about right before we started shooting, but we'll save that for another time because I feel like I've probably talked.
Yeah, we don't
want to
waste too much.
Yeah. People, they tune out pretty quickly here. So probably already tuned out, but hopefully not because Josh is awesome. You're gonna like our guest. So let's go to commercial. We'll be right back with our guest. All right.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't. Because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Welcome back to the Somebody Show. So I'm trying to keep that newsy thing going.
Yeah, it's working.
Hi, so we have a guest. He's here. He's got some cool stuff to talk about. Our first guest of the day likes to wear shoes. Please welcome to the stage, Josh Lee. Josh, welcome, man. Welcome. So in post, when I'm editing this, I'm gonna add like sound effects. So there's like cheering. How to see. As they were playing like the theme song. Have you watched the show at all? Did you get a chance to? Okay, you did. All right, you didn't just come blindly into like, I gotta know what I'm getting into here. Well, thank you for coming. Of course. This is exciting.
That's fun.
I've actually I wanted to have you on my. So we started doing this last year, and you're like, who are we gonna have on the show? So we start making lists of people, and believe it or not, you were on the list of like, because we'll get to how I know you, but I was like, this guy, he's got to be on the show because I know you got stuff to talk about. Like, you're just such a charismatic, charming dude, and like that's what we need because Sean and I aren't charismatic or charming. I'm a goofball that no one really likes to watch, and he's Sean. So everyone loves him though. Like he wins every episode. We stopped doing that. The winning episode thing. So Josh, how I know you, right? You want to talk about how I know you? Or do you want me to tell?
So you coach at my YSC Sports Flag Football.
Yeah.
So I'm the NFL flag director, and that's how I know you. That's
Yeah,
how we learned.
yeah.
I know you from LI.
All right, we're gonna get to that. Because we've never really talked about it on the show. We talked about it in the opening, but like, I may have. See, I have real fans. Yeah, exactly.
You have one fan.
So I coach my kids, my son's flag football team, and I met you last year, and we were doing that. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this right now, if you're okay if I say this, but we won the championship on Friday.
Yes,
Friday night, championship.
Is that what that $20 was that I saw you hand?
Yes, I had to give I owed him still some money. Not on camera, Sean. No, but last season, we did 2 seasons last year, and we got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs both seasons. So, we had high hopes and then crushed. So this year, I told the other 2 coaches I coach with, is if we lose in the first round this year, I'm full Andy Reid. I'm out. I'm leaving, going to Kansas City, and working on his staff. I don't know. Do you think they would hire me over there as an NFL coach on Kansas City staff? No, probably not. No, all right. So you're at YSC, and you do youth sports.
Yes, youth sports.
Okay. So what's kind of the kind of give us your spiel? What's going on?
So like I said, I run youth sports. I run NFL flag football. I run soccer leagues too. I do little camps, and I do a lot of one-on-one training and all that kind of stuff. But pretty much, I'm just trying to make memories for kids and their parents. So that's what I do.
Yeah, you do a good job with it. So if people want to sign up, they can go to the YSC
website.
Yep,
YSC.com website. Everything's on there for leagues, from house league to classes to NFL flag. Everything's on there.
What ages?
Ages from 5, sometimes 2 to 15.
There's not a 40-year-old flag football league for.
99-year-olds. They have like an 85 to 99-year-old.
I want to relive my high school glory days.
That'd be great. There's like, they do that with like track and field. There's like old track and field people.
I've seen that.
Like 90-year-old pole vaulters.
Yeah, I've seen that.
How do they break themselves? Yeah.
One guy, He ran the 100.
Oh yeah, he was 100 years old, right? I did see that one. Yeah, yeah. Go stop watching this video and go watch the 100-year-old run the 100-yard dash, and then come back because again, Josh is awesome. So you were saying too, like you do personal training as well,
yeah,
right?
I do a lot of one-on-one training with soccer players, football players, anyone that wants to learn how to be, a better athlete. So,
Okay.
I specialize in speed and agility.
Okay.
So it's not about like how you run. It's about form, technique, and explosiveness. So I just try to teach the simple things to get to the better things.
Could you make Sean more explosive?
It's possible. It's possible.
Do you work with? What age ranges do you work with for the speed and agility?
So I like to go from either 9 up. I don't like to do it with the younger kids because they're still learning how to develop in their body.
Feet.
Exactly.
Do we find that it's every kind of generation it feels like it gets younger, where kids start training younger?
Yeah.
I know when I was a kid, that don't lift weights when you're young. They were always told don't work out.
Yeah.
But now, like you see these kids,
Yeah.
and they're jacked, yeah, and they're trained. I mean, they're legit training, and you wonder if they burn out, doing it too early.
That's
But
true.
Miles was showing me one of these YouTube shorts about this baby Gronk. Have you seen this?
Yeah, actually, that's it. He's
Baby
actually
Gronk.
really good. He's really
8
good.
years old or 9
Yeah.
years old,
And
and, they
Jack.
call him Baby Gronk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays tackle football and flag, and some of the tackle football teams he plays against don't want to play against.
Yeah,
because he's
that's
just
good.
too good. It's crazy. So, did you teach Baby Gronk everything he knows?
Yeah.
Do you have kids? Wow, this kid is like naturally like they have it.
Oh, yeah.
or you know what? Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, do you ever Simon Cowell the parents?
Go pick up an instrument or something. Right?
Simon Cowell the parents like,
No.
so I really want to take your money, but in good conscience, I cannot take any more of your money. This kid is horrible. They are never going to be an athlete.
No, I could
Never had
do
that conversation?
I could never do that.
No,
I could never
okay.
do it.
That's fair.
I
That
train
makes
with
sense.
anyone.
Yeah.
So if they want it.
Yeah. And I think really too, I tell Miles all the time, that it really is about putting in the work and practicing and doing it. You can't just, I think I was just talking about this yesterday. So my daughter's learning to read, and do you remember? I know you don't, because no one does. You don't remember when you couldn't read, right? You can't think back to a time where like, oh, I remember when I couldn't read that word, and I remember how to get past that word. So that happens so naturally at such a young age. I think kids just start to think they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, at an expert level, because they don't have memory of learning how to walk. They don't have memory of learning how to talk. So they just are like, I can play basketball and be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, because you have to take 1,000 free throws a day to even have a chance to maybe get there. And even then, you may not. And I told Miles all the time too. It's like some people. Phelps, the swimmer. Like some people are just built
Naturally.
and designed.
Like he's just-
they
way his body
they were
shape is,
born
yeah.
that way to do that sport, and luckily they fell into that, or their parents put them in it, and then they went on to that. Then you have some kids like Miles loves to bring up Muggsy Bogues all the time. He's like, Dad, he's 5'3", and he was dunking on Shaq. I'm like, how many Muggsy Bogues were there though? One.
Muggsy wasn't dunking. Spud Webb was dunking.
Spud Webb, yeah. But those are like the only two ever that were able to do that.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it's. Do you have any kids that you've coached? So how long have you been coaching? Like doing the personal?
Personal, I actually started like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was do you have any kids right now that have like gone on to like in those 2 years, like maybe an older kid that's like moving up and he's a starting quarterback for his
Right
team
now,
now? or-
no, but I'm
Okay.
currently working
Yeah.
on that. I have 3 football players right now. He was a wide receiver, now he's a running back.
Okay.
So I'm just working on him to get bigger and
Nice.
faster. So yeah, I'm just trying to get to that level.
Now,
But,
did
yeah.
you play football or soccer? or
Yes,
anything?
I played football for almost 24 years.
What?
Yeah, so
Wow. Did you start when you were born and you just played until you were 23?
I actually started when I was 4 years old. I started flag football and then I went into tackle football at 6.
Oh, wow. Now, did you play locally, or are you from the area?
Played in Abington.
Okay.
So
I went to Abington as well.
Did you?
Yeah. Graduated in 2000. So.
Oh,
What year did you graduate, John? Are you older? Older than 2000?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I graduated in 1993, so I'm really old. Not really old, but older for sure. And what'd you play? What position did you play?
a wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right. Were you more of a possession receiver, more of like a slot
Speed.
kind of. Okay,
All about
all right,
speed.
all right. Like straight line, or like you got like
Speed
some
and route
wiggle.
running.
You got some wiggle. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, the route running.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Like Jerry Rice wasn't super fat. I mean, he was
No.
fast, obviously, for
He was
human beings.
quick, like,
Yeah.
but not like he wasn't a speed demon.
Yeah,
but
but route
about
running was his thing,
yeah.
right?
Like
Like he
Cooper
could.
Kupp.
Yeah.
That's one of the best route runners.
Yeah, yeah. That's the other thing I tell Miles too.
I think Jerry Rice was ahead of a game of the training as well. He was running up the mountain, like you watched his films in the 80s. He was running up mountains before anybody even,
Yeah.
It was just,
And Bo.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson's a whole different.
Oh my goodness, man! I wish that he hadn't gotten hurt. I think he was. He would have been by far the best ever. I think.
100%.
I
Yeah.
mean, you saw like Herschel Walker, who apparently never lifted a weight in his life. He says
know.
it's all from
Yeah,
push-ups
yeah.
and
They
calisthenics and
did
all that other stuff.
ESPN did a documentary on him. I guess he was like kind of like a hefty kid,
Yeah.
in like when he was like little, like 5th, 6th grade,
Yep.
and so he wanted to play football or something, but he liked watching a lot of TV. And so his dad said, like every commercial break, you got to go run to that tree out there and come back. You got to do 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, whatever. So his dad was like, those are the 3 things. Like, so he had him every time there was a commercial on. Herschel was running and doing push-ups, and then it just kind of developed into like that was his routine. He
Yeah,
just
he
did
just did
push-ups and
push-ups,
sit-ups.
Parenting.
Yeah. Well, so we'll go to commercial. We'll come right back, and then we'll talk a little bit more to Josh. All right, we'll be right back.
Football fans, get ready for the battle of the century. As unbeaten Budweiser takes on undefeated Bud Light. It's Bud versus Bud Light in Bud Bowl 1.
We're back from commercial. That was way over the top, kind of newsy guy. But we have Josh here still. He didn't leave. He tried to like get up and run away because he's super fast. And we're like, no, come back, please, finish the show. So, Josh, you and I were talking yesterday before the show about what kind of stuff we wanted to talk about, and you were saying, your position now at YSC and kind of from where you were, and like that, kind of an inspirational story to people. So, you want to elaborate on that and kind of tell us where your humble beginnings were and where you are now?
So I started from Abington. I was MVP.
Okay.
First team, offense, defense, top of the world.
Sure.
The king.
Yeah.
So I went to D1 AA school.
Okay.
Because they gave me all this merch, this Nike gear, so they reeled me in. It was a program, they just started out.
Okay.
So the coaching in the program wasn't that well.
Wasn't there, yeah.
So I had to lead that. I went to Kutztown.
Okay.
Where I actually graduated.
Okay.
But the first time I went, I got kicked out because I was partying.
Yeah, that's my wife stopped playing soccer because she wanted to, have fun. So
So from there, I was working at Acme for like 2 years. I was depressed. I didn't think I would be able to get to the level where I was.
Right.
So for something, the switch just happened to me. My parents, my mom, they actually got me enrolled to the technical school in Lancaster.
Okay, yeah.
Lancaster, what's the school name? Thaddeus Stevens.
Okay.
The School of Technology. Funny story, I went into carpentry.
Oh, really?
And I walk
Get you
into
a
the
job.
first class.
I can get you. That's what we did.
I walked into the class and I'm like, what is all this wood doing here? I thought I was going to work with carpet. I had no clue what it was.
That's great. Like, well, maybe not. Maybe not for me.
No, but actually I did good.
You did?
I
Okay.
was the third in class. I ended up on a dean's list in a 3.7.
Nice.
But I didn't finish. I played football there.
Okay.
It's like a junior college. Played football there.
Yeah.
Won MVP for the league.
Nice.
And then I went going back to Kutztown.
Okay.
Got on the dean's list there. Got my life together. And actually met my wife, Thaddeus Stevens. She got my life back together. Without her, 100%, I give her all the credit.
I would be in a ditch if it wasn't for my wife. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
She got me back on track. She got
My
me
wife
over.
actually drags me down.
Yeah. Your wife puts you into the ditch like every other day. No, she's the best. My wife Faith actually helps us produce the show. She's not with us
She's not
today,
today.
but she really helps us a lot.
Yeah, but without my wife, 100%, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So, like I said,
How'd you get mixed up with YSC?
Oh, YSC. So, my brother actually played at Kutztown too.
Okay.
You look him up, Anthony Lee. Best Kutztown
Younger? Younger, okay.
Best Kutztown basketball player of all time.
Really?
He's amazing. He has like every record.
Really? Wow.
But his coach Bernie Driscoll, we got really cool. He actually wanted me to play basketball and football, but you can't do that in college.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
And he knew, Charlie Dodds. I used to run YSC,
Okay.
but not anymore. He introduced me to Kyle Strunk, my mentor, my boss. That's at YSC.
Okay.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He got me the job. I was an intern, and he gave me the job after
Okay.
my internship. And then from there, I just moved up the ladder and
Hard
So I
work.
met you.
It's like you were saying, hard work pays off.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Effort always
Keep
beats talent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you were saying the union guy, is that you were talking? He's the guy that runs the YSC?
Richie Grant.
Because the union uses that
Richie
space
Grant,
right now.
He runs
The Philadelphia
whole,
Union, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He runs the whole building,
Yeah.
and I think he's like a partnership with the union.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. And YSC has an academy there as well. Do
Yes,
they do like it's like a
Union
school
academy? Yeah,
Okay. It's
school
so
for
you-
kids. So it
okay.
goes from junior academy, so from around like 7 or 8 year olds all the way up to like the U17s, and then they go from the Union 2 to the teams, and then you ever hear Brennan and Anderson, I believe in?
It sounds familiar.
He's on the leads right now
Okay.
in the Premier League.
Oh,
right
wow.
now. He's huge right now.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you work with those kids at all?
No, I get
That's kind of separate.
Yeah, some union kids that got cut, I guess.
Okay.
They come and do train with me, so I
Okay.
can get them
Trying to get
that.
back into that.
Exactly.
That's great. That's great. Now, do you coach at all ever? Do you have any time to coach?
I did actually coach in my league once.
Oh, did you really? The team needed a coach?
The team
Like,
didn't have
I
a
gotta
coach. I'm
step
like,
in.
I guess I'll step in. We actually made it to the championship.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's so
lost,
funny.
but you know.
There's some good teams in there, man.
Oh, yeah,
There's some
yeah.
good teams. Yeah. The refs were really good this year.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah, they had some good refs. So, well, it's awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else we want to
Well,
talk about?
I know
before?
we want to talk about his, love of How High, but real
Oh,
quick,
yes,
I have a
yes.
question as far as like, what do you think is the most important? Again, with 9-year-olds, it's probably different. Is it repetition? Is it repetition and just obviously consistency, and then obviously being all in helps. But
Exactly.
it's repetition, hitting the things, and seeing the improvement. I guess is what
Exactly. It's not overnight. You
Right.
have to keep
You gotta
doing
keep
it.
going.
Building muscle memory,
Exactly.
right? Like kind of doing the repetition to kind of build that up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, now on to more important stuff, Josh. So I was in a movie called How High, and Josh calls me yesterday. He's like, "Hey, I don't know if you want to talk about this, or I didn't know if it was you or not. Are you in How High?" I'm like, "Well, yes, Josh. Yes, I actually was in How High." And I used an affected British accent. I said, "Yes. Oh, do you recognize me, Josh?" And he's like, "And you said what?"
It's my favorite comedy movie of all time.
See?
love that
So
movie.
you guys
You're the
are
one.
missing
You're the one.
tune out. Yeah, exactly. I have a real fan here.
Yes, you
And
do.
he knows what he's talking
I
about.
actually called my brother about it, and he's like, "For real?" I'm like, "Yes, we love this guy." we're laughing about
Have
it.
you signed headshots anywhere around that we can?
I don't. But before I forget, speaking of sign heads, I could sign this for you, Josh. But we give all of our guests a T-shirt. We haven't presented this on any episodes in a while, but for you, I'll sign it as Bart Fart. If you don't want Sean. Josh is like, "No, I don't want you to ruin my T-shirt, man. I like the movie, just don't ruin the T-shirt."
Like you were talking about it with the audition. I was actually going to ask you about that, how
Yeah,
it went.
yeah.
Well, when I noticed you at when you first came at YSC,
Yeah.
I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, but where is he from?
He has one of those faces too. Because it's just one of those things. I don't think I recognized. I'm trying to think if I.
Did you know How High before?
I did. I've seen How High, but I don't know if I like it hit me right away. Like, oh, that's the guy. And then once everybody started talking, like, oh, we have a guy that working for us, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Oh, great. It was this egomaniac. It's funny. I used to wait tables as an actor. Not surprise. But there was an actress that came in with her friends one day, and I said, I recognize her from something. And now I live in Hollywood, so you would think that I would have been like, oh, it's probably an actor.
Right.
But I'm an idiot, as you clearly can tell watching this show. And I'm like, oh, I think that might be my 6th grade teacher. So I walk up to her at the table. I'm like bringing their drinks. I'm like, it's a weird question. I'm sure you get this all the time. But I didn't say we get this all the time. I said, did you teach 6th grade in Georgia? And her friends are like, what? And her friend looks at me and she goes, that's Elizabeth Pena, an actress. I don't know if you know who Elizabeth Pena is, but
Not off the top
look
of
her
my
up.
head.
Go Google Elizabeth Pena. So I thought that was my 6th grade teacher. But I get that all the time. People look at me and I get double takes, and I don't notice as much anymore. But my wife and like other people will say, like, we'll be walking through a crowd and they kind of double takes will look at me, but because I'm not really famous, people generally either think they know
That's
me,
right.
or they're like, "You're that guy from that thing," and I'm like, "I don't know what." And that's the other problem too. I actually did more than How High. I did a few other things.
Really?
And so I'll list my resume someday. But I never know. Like if they're like, "You're that guy," then I'm like, I don't know what you know me from, and I'm not going to just start listing like I
Miller
did
Lite
this,
commercial
I
is
did
probably
that,
the one that
did that. Yeah.
where I was like, oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Miller Lite commercial.
Oh,
yeah,
all
where you
right.
save the day with the
Yeah,
beers.
exactly. The fixer.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm a real life fan. Thank you, Josh. It makes me feel good.
of course.
You've made my day. You've made my day. And also, thank you for being on the show. Of
course, thank you.
And thank you for running the league. You did a great job with that. The kids all love you. I had to yell at my kids because after the championship game, they're all ready to celebrate, and Josh comes walking along and like, Josh! I'm like, we have to shake the hands of the other team. You guys can talk to Josh after. Go shake the hands and tell the other team they played a good game. And they did. Yeah, it was good. So awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Thank you.
It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
All right, we're back. I know. I gave up on the news thing.
Yeah,
So
I think it was a good call.
Good call.
Yeah.
That was an awesome guest.
Yeah.
I love Josh. He's just such a good guy. He's just good energy.
Yeah, he's going to train. We're going to start training.
Yeah, Sean's gonna do swimming lessons. He's gonna do strength and
We're gonna get
agility
to top
lessons.
shape.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna.
You know, I play hockey. I play roller hockey every week.
Yeah.
And like, I still, like, you would think after a while, like, I've not gotten any better, but like, I still can't breathe after like 30-second shift. I'm like, you'd think at some point you would just kind of
the
like.
stamina would come, right?
But I think I ate too much candy.
Oh yeah, that's probably right. It might be true. Do you score goals or are you like a brawler?
You know what? I'm not a well. There's no brawling. There's no hitting. It's,
No?
you know, listen. It's a bunch of older guys that we're
think
trying
you
to.
should still brawl.
We have to make sure we get to work the next day. But there's been fights. It gets
Yeah.
you know. But I don't score goals. I'm more of a defensive checker. Like,
Okay.
I'm like fourth line kind of guy. I suck.
That's the most we've ever heard about Sean on the show. We talk so much about me. We've never heard anything about Sean's life or his. I mean, we met his wife and his kid and his dog and in his garage, but personally,
Right.
that's the most thing we've ever heard about you.
it, yeah.
We'll get more into you eventually.
I'll shut down.
Let's talk about me now.
yes, that's a good idea.
I was thinking last year's season we did the whole who won the episode every time, and I think I probably was like, I'm not going to say Sean won the episode anymore. We're going to stop doing that. But you won the episode. You always win the episode. So get to know somebody show.
Well, you know, in the last episode, there was a rumor that you had gotten arrested.
Oh yeah, my son. I don't know if that
son
episode
dropped-
has aired yet,
Yeah,
but we were interviewing my son, and he talked about how I got arrested.
And I just wanted to know more, like more to the.
Oh, I'm
now
sure
that
you
your
did.
son is not here.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
And my wife and my wife is off camera. We're like, no, we're not having our 9-year-old son talk about you getting arrested. So here's the story. I did not really get arrested.
So was there a mugshot on you somewhere?
There's no
There's
mugshot.
no TMZ.
Here's the story.
Okay.
I was acting in LA.
Okay.
I was in an acting class. I parked my car outside on the street every time I went to acting class.
Okay.
And one day I came out of my acting class and my car was gone.
Okay.
All right. So, just coincidentally, a cop car is driving by and I wave him down. Hey. He stops by. He's like, yes, sir. What can I do for you? I said, well, I park my car here all the time. I went to acting class and my car is gone. He's like, are you acting right now? I was like, no, I'm not acting. And he didn't say that. But so my car's gone. He's like, so we fill out the stolen car report there.
Right.
And so that was on a Tuesday. I have acting classes on Tuesday and
Did
Thursday.
you pay for that acting class?
Yes, I did.
Did you get your money back?
Nope.
After,
Thanks, John. Thank you. I'll see if they'll. I mean, maybe they
yeah.
will. I'll ask.
right-
And my
right-
friend says I should
write
get
a
my
letter.
money back. Yeah. So on Thursday, I go back to acting class.
Mm-hmm.
No car. My friend's been driving me around for a couple days, and my friend says to me, he's like, "You park on that street all the time, but sometimes parking's jammed up, and you park on another street." I'm like, "Yeah, but I know I parked on that street." He's like, "Well, can we just look on the other street to see if your car's there?" I'm like, "I guess we'll look on that street. It's not going to be there." Of course, my car was on the
Sure
other
enough,
street,
you
right?
parked- forgot where you parked.
So,
and you got arrested for that?
no, well, so the story continues.
Okay.
Coincidentally, I guess it's a very crime-ridden neighborhood that we
Okay.
were in because there are cops driving by, and I wave him down. I'm like, excuse me, on Tuesday this week, I thought my car had gotten stolen, and I filed a report with one of your brothers in arms. And he's like, oh, okay, then I'll fill it out, say, you're good. The car got found. It's like, I know, I feel like an idiot. He's like, all right, shake hands, goodbye. Flash forward 2 months later, I was a waiter and I was getting off work at around 2 a.m. and I'm driving home in my car. And I pull up to an intersection. I see a police car kind of in front of me in the intersection. I look to my right. I see a police car at the stoplight there. I look to my left. There's a police car there. And then I look in the rearview mirror. There's a cop car behind me.
Lights on?
Not yet.
Okay.
Light turns green. I make the left. Boo! All cars converge on me, right? And I'm like, oh no. And I immediately knew.
You knew exactly.
I knew immediately. I was like, oh, they think my car is stolen. They think I stole this car. So pull over. Cops are out. Their guns drawn. fully like, really, please step out of the car. They do the whole thing of like, roll your window down, put the keys outside the car, do not make any sudden movements. And I'm like, I'm going to get shot. They're going to shoot me. And they come to the car, I get out, they're like, this car has been reported stolen. I'm like, I know, this is my car. I reported it. All right. They put my hands, in cuffs. They put me in the back of the squad car, which back of a police car.
This is before Punked, right? So
it was before Punked, yeah. But this squad car, I don't know if you've been in the back of a police car before.
No, I haven't.
It's a plastic seat, like a hard plastic seat.
Okay.
It's not comfortable. I guess they don't want, people to be comfortable back there.
Understood. Well, plus I think there's probably people that...
So I'm back there, and I'm telling him, like, it's my car. So this is my default too when I'm nervous. And back then, this was a much bigger deal because he's still very famous, but he was at the height of his fame. And I used to do a lot of Jim Carrey impersonations. Hey, alrighty then. Ooh. So I thought I'd make the cops laugh, so I started doing Jim Carrey impersonations. I was like, I'm sorry, officer, I won't do it again. I promise this is my car. And the cops started laughing a little bit. They're kind of chuckling. Anyway, like 10 minutes later, they find everything out, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, this is your car, and they let me go. So I was not arrested.
Okay.
But I was definitely cuffed and thrown into the back of a police car.
Interesting.
For stealing my own car. Is that a dumb story?
No, it's a great story. I mean, the fact that you forgot where you parked your car, I mean, that's a good...
And reported it stolen.
And then the fact that they didn't do a little bit of police work to see that it was on the next block after you reported it stolen?
Yeah, I mean, that's I guess, they have a lot going on in Los Angeles.
Okay.
A lot of real crime to be dealing with, not, some idiot actor.
That's good that we got clarity on your...
Now, I just remember this. There was an actor in my class that he actually had a Honda Prelude that he bought. And you remember Honda Preludes? I don't think those are around anymore. A little sporty, kind of Accord, or Civic, maybe. His car was stolen in that neighborhood.
Okay.
I just remembered that. Yeah. And then I think he saved up his money, he bought another Prelude, and that got stolen somewhere else.
Jeez.
I guess Preludes were,
hot.
Stolen. I've talked too much. Yeah. We're going to find out more about Sean on next week's episode. Thank you for watching. We'll be right... No, we're not going to be right back.
No,
this is the end of the episode. Bye.
Bye.